Welcome back to Kramer's Millionaire Maker. Here again is Hilary Kramer.
This is Hilary Kramer, the Millionaire Maker, and we are so fortunate to have with us today a renowned and very acclaimed gold expert, as well as all precious metal expert, Rich Checkan. Rich Checkan is the President and Chief Operating Officer of ASI Strategies International, and he is going to be answering very important questions when it comes to making money and getting some security in your portfolio. Welcome, Rich.
Great to be here, Hilary. Thanks for having me.
Rich, let me just get right to it. We have all these various concerns around the world. Some are geopolitical and the majority are pandemic. So when it comes to the global gold trade, the need for gold, it's hard to imagine any scenario where gold doesn't rise over the long term. And as a trader, as an investor, I see that 50-day moving average and the support for gold. Tell me, is that going to continue, and what does it look like globally?
Now, that's a good point, and I'll tackle the second part first. What does it look like globally? Um, in the U.S. right now, there's an opportunity. Gold is cheap in U.S. dollar terms. Okay, it's rising. It's in the fledgling stages of a bull market. Worldwide, in virtually every other currency, gold is expensive. It's hitting its new all-time highs, or has just hit its new all-time highs. So, as a U.S.-based, dollar-based investor, you have an opportunity here in gold. And do I think it's going to go up in the future? Well, there's no question in my mind because we measure it with fiat dollars. Okay, so just to give you an idea, so far this century. Okay, so from 2000 to now, the Dow is up 124%. The S&P is up 109%. The NASDAQ's up 194%. Silver is up 287%. And gold, 578% increase in 20 years. Okay, so as long as we keep measuring it with fiat money, there's no question gold is going to increase in value.
Well, that actually leads to a question I continually am asked. Everyone knows gold is important and that it's a critical part of a portfolio. If you're not the biggest gold bug in the world, you should still have somewhere around 1% to 3% of your portfolio in gold. It's just about being diversified. If you are a gold bug, you probably want more than that. But the real question here is, what actually is the value of gold? Why does it continue to be so important when we really don't use it for industry itself?
It's a good question, and I've got a two-part answer for you to this one. Um, First off, it is used a little bit industrially, but very, very small amounts. It's known as a monetary metal, and that means it acts as money. In my opinion, it's the world's only real money. So if we go back to Aristotle, he had the definition of what he called good money. It had four basic components. It needed to be durable, which means it needed to stand the test of time. It couldn't fade, corrode, or change value. Okay. Need to be
Mhm.
portable. Okay. So it needs to hold a relatively high amount of worth in a very dense or small area. Needed to be divisible. You needed to be able to break it up and recombine it to use it for purchases. And this is the killer. All right. When it comes to dollars and euro and yen and everything else, it needed to be intrinsically valuable. It had to be valuable in and of itself. And that's the one box that gold checks for Aristotle that nothing else does. The other thing I just want to throw out there is, you know, when gold was first discovered in this world, it was found everywhere. But we didn't have the internet back then. We couldn't reach out to somebody on Twitter and say, look at this shiny stuff I just pulled out of the ground. Everybody found it in different parts of the world at all the same time, different times, whatever. And when they found it, they all thought it was something special. And the only reason I can think that is because it is.
That is an excellent answer. And thank you. Believe it or not, people ask it all the time. Why gold? I think that's because we have Bitcoin, we have all this cryptocurrency. Hey, why not just collect cryptocurrency? Why should I have gold? In what in In what form should investors be buying gold? Now, I know that you have a partnership with the Perth Mint. Okay. And if you could explain how that works relative to having a GLD, which is an ETF, it's an index that is actually backed by gold and it trades. You buy and sell it online in your Fidelity or Vanguard account. Or you could have blocks of gold that you carry around or you bury and hide somewhere in your home.
Well, the big case for gold, direct gold ownership, owning coins and bars is nobody manages it. Nobody controls it. It is what it is. It's valuable in and of itself, and it's in your hands, and you're in charge of that wealth. Okay, so that's why people own gold. At some point, you have too much of it that you can safeguard and store safely yourself, and then you're forced to spread it out and put it in the hands of professionals. That's where some of the depositories domestically and abroad, like the Perth Mint, we use. These are professionals that are good stewards of your wealth. The biggest knock I have for ETFs is they're not 100% backed by product. They're oftentimes leveraged accounts. And this if you'll ever have me back again, this might be a great topic for another discussion. Why is it that nobody ever questions how come GLD price for a share is almost never 1/10 of an ounce of gold, which is what it's supposed to be? Why does never anybody question the fact that SLV's shares, 10 times the silver price, are virtually never 10 times the silver price? I know what the answer is. And it'll shock you a little bit. It doesn't mean they're bad products, don't get me wrong. But you have to know what you're dealing with. And I'm surprised that a lot of people don't ask questions. I think it's easier just to say, yeah, I have gold, I have GLD, but they really don't understand what they're holding.
Oh, that is very interesting. Extremely interesting. Now, what about silver? Silver, I understand, went down in price at the time that gold, during the pandemic concerns, geopolitical concerns, has actually risen. And
Mm.
I hate to jump in with the other one, but but we got to talk China Cold War and how that will have impact gold, and should be people buying gold for that reason.
Well, I think people should be buying gold just because they ought to have a little bit of gold in their portfolio to hedge dollar risk, et cetera, have a store of value for that emergency that they hope they never have. But silver's kind of interesting. Silver follows gold. Gold's the leader. It will start the trend up or it'll start the trend down in a bull market, and silver will eventually follow, and then it outpaces it. It outpaces gold. So what we found is early on in this bull market, silver's been lagging, right?
Mhm.
The gold silver ratio, the number of ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold, typically fluctuates from about 35 to 80. And at 80, it means gold and silver are at their low point. And it's time to buy gold for wealth insurance or silver for profit. And then what happens is you start buying both. Silver tends to outpace gold as both are moving up in price, and the ratio comes down to 35 to 50. Silver went up to 120s. And in the past week and a half, it is down to 98. Silver is starting to catch up and make its move. It's interesting for profit right here and right now.
Rich, please stay with us for the next segment. There's some information that's come out that everyone needs to know about, and we have more questions about geopolitical risk, pandemics, and the role of investing.
Are you like most of us stuck at home these days? You know who else might be at home with you? Rodents. G'day, I'm Scott from Plug-in Pest Free. The last thing you want right now are rodents eating your stash of toilet paper or nibbling away at your bottles of hand sanitizer. But honestly, these are unwanted guests freeloading on your food and supplies while they risk spreading further disease in your home. Baits on old-fashioned traps only invites them in when you really should be trying to keep them out. So how do you keep them out? With Plug-in Pest Free. Plug-in Pest Free plugs into any electrical outlet to set up a no-go zone by utilizing the electrical wiring in your home, the most humane way of getting rid of your unwanted intruders. Now that's fair income. Look us up at gopestfree.com today. Use promo code SAVE20 for 20% off. That's gopestfree.com, promo code SAVE20. Don't spray and regret, plug in and forget.
With the coronavirus restrictions, the Prager Store warehouse will be unable to ship items for a couple of weeks. So, I want to mention this. If you are wanting to listen to any audio program in the Prager Store without waiting for it to be sent to you, let me recommend joining Pragertopia Unlimited. In addition to being able to listen to my radio show commercial-free, Pragertopia Unlimited members can listen to any and all audio programs that are in the Dennis Prager Store, over 1,000 hours of streaming audio, almost everything I've recorded over the last 20 years, show segments, talks, lectures, courses, plus you'll have full access to all 5 books of my Torah teachings. It's all on demand. Stream any program, anytime on your phone, iPad, or computer. Plus, everyone who joins Pragertopia Unlimited gets a coupon code for 50% off an autographed copy of the Rational Bible, Genesis. Join Pragertopia Unlimited today. Go to pragertopia.com.
So, how are you? Really? Larry Yilda here. I mean, it's important. We've all been inundated by information, some good, some bad, some believable, some not. But how are you? Have you been exposed to COVID-19? You see, getting proper rest can be paramount in staying healthy. So I wear the new Circle ring on my finger at night to listen to my body. The Circle shares my sleep patterns and my oxygen levels. A decrease in oxygen levels in my blood can be one of the earliest indicators that my body is fighting a virus like COVID-19. The Circle provides this type of vital data, allowing me to make decisions and seek medical counsel ASAP. How did I sleep? By wearing the Circle ring, I have the story my body wants to tell. This might alert me to a health issue and encourage me to seek medical direction. Knowing my body's story allows me to make intelligent and healthier routine changes. So, how are you? Find out like I did at bodymetrics.com, BODI metrics.com, and be sure and use promo code Larry.
Let's welcome Jeremy Camp.
Hope comes home with I Still Believe. You can download it now at WatchSalemMedia.com. From the creators of I Can Only Imagine comes the uplifting true life story of Christian music megastar Jeremy Camp.
I'm supposed to be with her. I can't explain it. I just know that.
Jeremy's hope and faith are put to the test when tragedy strikes.
You're going to be healed.
What if I'm not supposed to be healed?
Don't say that.
I Still Believe is an incredible story of musical stardom, the heights of love, the depths of loss, and the healing power of the human spirit. One love can change your life.
You chose willingly to walk into the fire with her. That's what love is.
Witness the true story of Christian music star Jeremy Camp and his journey of love and loss that looks to prove there is always hope. Starring KJ Appa, Britt Robertson, Gary Sinise, and Shania Twain. Own I Still Believe on Blu-ray, DVD, and digital now from Lionsgate at WatchSalemMedia.com. That's WatchSalemMedia.com.
Welcome back to Kramer's Millionaire Maker. Here again is Hilary Kramer.
This is Hilary Kramer, Millionaire Maker, and we are going to make you a millionaire. It's going to come from stocks, and it's going to come from the investments that you need to make now. We have Rich Checkan still with us. He is Chief Operating Officer and President of Asset Strategies International. And what we need to ask you about is global risk. We are in the midst of a Cold War with China. If that happens, what happens to the price of gold? How do we find out what will happen? And of course, what did the pandemic do to the price of gold and people's buying habits?
All good points. And the short answer is gold should benefit. Anytime there's political, social, geopolitical unrest, gold tends to be the safe haven that people flow to, along with US dollars and Japanese yen typically is where people go. And gold's not going to lose that role anytime soon. It's been filling it for a very, very long time. There's in this current environment with the pandemic, I still think a lot of people feel that gold is on a tear right now because of the pandemic. But I just have to remind everybody, gold broke out. The bull market started a year ago. Okay. the pandemic has given it a little bit of a shot, maybe an afterburner, kicked in or something for the short term. But gold was going to make this move anyway. It just made it move a little bit faster.
Where can listeners get more information if they want to learn more about gold, especially given that it's up 587% in 20 years, where the S&P 500 is only up 109% in 20 years?
Yeah, actually, this is a great time to get a ton of information. Annually, there's this incredible report. Everybody that's anybody in the industry goes to it. It's called In Gold We Trust. It's put together by some friends, Ronnie and Mark of Incrementum AG in Vaduz, Liechtenstein. Every year for 11 years now, it's a go-to document. If you reach out to us, our toll-free number is 800-831-0007, 10 better than James Bond, or send me an email, rcheckan, CHECKAN, at assetstrategies.com. We'll go ahead and get a link to you to download this report. Tons of information, covers geopolitical factors, macroeconomics, etc. It is a must read for anybody interested in gold. And like I said earlier, gold and silver right now are absolutely something to be considered.
Absolutely. And you want to do your homework on it. Now, we've all been locked down. We've been in this quarantine. Everyone I know cleaned. They cleaned their house. They cleaned their garage. It's almost hysterical how much we cleaned.
I did.
Yes, we cleaned and we ate and ate. Nobody's pants fit anymore. There's a word out there, numismatic. You also specialize, Rich, in numismatic coins. So many people have Aunt Ida's, Uncle Roger's, and what do they find? They find in their estate coins, or they have them buried away somewhere. What value is there? Is there any value? Should one be careful? And because I know your firm specializes in that.
Yeah.
Hey, can you hit it, Rich, with the right coin?
Well, absolutely you can. And the first thing is don't go out and spend them. Okay. You don't count them as current money, because back then the rare, numismatic's a big word for rare. So these rare coins in gold and silver, early American coins, could have significant value. The first thing you want to do, and we buy them back, many firms do, but before you even think about that, you want to put a list together, take an inventory, send it off to us, same email address, rcheckan@assetstrategies.com. We'll do a free, no cost appraisal to you, let you know what the market would bear. So basically, if you shipped them to our door today, what would we pay for them? We'll let you know what that is, and we'll also give you some recommendations if they're worthwhile keeping, if they should be sold, etc. So we'll give you some of those insights, and then whatever you want to do with it is fine. We hope you'd consider us.
Great. And that goes for international coins that are old, as well as coins that may not be that old that are US, but seem to have some value, or they look rare. Don't spend them. Check it out. You might have found yourself a pot of gold. We have Rich Checkan with us, President and CEO, Asset Strategies International, 1-800-831-0007. Call him for the report. Call him as a resource. And this is Hilary Kramer. We're coming back with some of the best stocks there are out there that you can buy to make lots of money.
Shoot 'em down, turn around.